My name's Mike Groves and I'm the founder of Topolytics, and we're a smart grid for waste. So Topolytics is a data analytics business, and our waste map and waste track data platforms make the management of industrial waste and byproducts much more transparent, more efficient and more effective commercially and environmentally. So we've been working for a couple of years now, sort of building our capability, and we've achieved some recognition in the marketplace. We've been named by Cleantech Group as a leading smart waste company, and in 2018 we were invited to join the Ellen MacArthur Foundation CE 100 as one of the world's leading circular economy innovators. We've done this working with a wide range of partners, both in academia, across government and elsewhere. Specifically on this particular challenge, we'll be working with the UK's National Mapping Agency, the Ordnance Survey, that brings a host of data and geospatial analytics experience to the project. So how do we intend to meet this smart waste challenge? Well, our experience over the last few years has shown us that there's no single source of the truth on waste. There is a systemic issue, not just in the UK but internationally, on the quality of particularly industrial and commercial waste data. So for us, this challenge is all about the data, looking at patterns and gaining insights from what we can then see. So the tracking aspect of the project, you can track in a whole number of different ways. I mean, we've done a lot of work with real-time tracking using real-time Internet of Things sensors. We've done that work in the UK and taken that to China. But we think the only way to sort of really follow what's happening to this material is to bring in a range of different data inputs and different data sources. So that's why we think interoperability between these sort of different data inputs is absolutely crucial. So that's something we'll be focusing a lot of energy on. So the management of those different data sets, whether it be from sensors, spreadsheets or third-party systems. But ultimately it's then about what we can actually see across that data. And our particular approach is to use data science, geospatial analytics and also predictive analytics to start to see patterns, inconsistencies, and also we think opportunity to potentially drive more circular business models, as well as identifying kind of particular issues with the data. So our approach is to, first of all, we will identify and ingest a range of different data sets across household and municipal waste data, commercial and industrial waste data from a range of different companies and commercial organisations. That also includes some construction data from some infrastructure and construction businesses, and then hazardous waste data as well. We'll then look at that data in terms of the quality. We think actually being able to identify the quality attached to measures of waste, what that waste is and where that waste goes, is absolutely crucial. And then how do we then best access that data? And then clearly issues around security of the data and anonymization as well. And then the next step is the visualization and the analysis. And for that we'll be using our data platform, Waste Map, which is a way to organise, visualise and analyse commercial industrial waste data, but we'll be applying it to these other data sets as well. And then around that, a range of statistical, geospatial and predictive analytics techniques will be applied. And finally we'll test the rigour of the software itself, but also the quality of the data, both in terms of location and also in terms of the actual measures of waste materials. And then clearly we're interested to build a user interface that can be readily interacted with by different users, whether they be the regulators, whether they be the waste management kind of industry itself, and or companies that are generating waste. So what are we doing? In effect, we're trying to inject location intelligence into the whole system of waste data across the UK and also globally. So we're working on the one hand with organisations that are generators of waste and providing them with visibility, more control, reducing risks and transparency. But then clearly waste is a value chain, and so generators are interacting with waste managers and recyclers. So we're working at that end of the chain, and they're interested in understanding where that material is, how they can access the material, reducing the costs attached to transporting that material, and then identifying where there are opportunities to invest in new capacity. So the mapping piece is yes, there's a big element of visualization, but beneath that there's a significant opportunity in terms of the analysis and the insight that you can gain from that presenting the data that way. Not least of which is looking at patterns across the globe, across international boundaries, across the UK or locally. So a large part of our particular project will be looking at kind of the data science and pattern recognition within what we're seeing. And then ultimately, it is about actually generating usable kind of insights and outputs that can then be put to use by waste managers, by companies that are generating waste, and of course clearly by the regulators and investors as well. And that's the approach that we will be taking as part of this project. Thank you.